the final part of the different types of documents or basic documents for software test process are the different forms of test reports. Like with the test plans, where we had the general test plan or master test plan and specific subplans for different levels of testing or different methods of testing, the test reports in this model represent two different things. The test reports, which are collected to follow on the progress of the testing work based on how the cases advance or how the different collected metrics show, for example, the amount of time used, the amount of modules created, or the amount of working hours used, or the amount of cases which have failed, and against the amount of cases which work, and the completion report, which gives us an information on how the project level testing happened and how, for example, one entire phase like launch or acceptance testing happened. In any case, the test reports are divided so that these basic reports are used to steer and manage the project level activities with the general test plan by the test manager, whereas the completion report is used to report all problems and the state of the test process to the organization, so that in future the test strategy and policy could be enhanced or modernized or updated to the current situation. In any case, a test report is actually a document summarizing the progress of work so far. It also not only reports what works, but it's also important to include what doesn't work, so that the project level activities can be steered towards more positive outcome, really, or to enhance the working conditions. Overall, all the metrics which are selected for the project to measure the progress, or all the relevant information which is collected or observed, is in this report. It's the management tool to manage and steer the test process and overall oversee that the quality assurance work is going towards right direction. When we are done with the testing, our exit criteria is fulfilled, then we fill out the final report, which is also called test completion report. It's a tool to collect feedback from the entire one phase or one method or one level of testing activities, and ideally it's used to enhance the future process of the testing work, meaning that the test strategy and the policy is updated. Like mentioned here, this arrow here means that the completion report tells how all these activities happened, so that these parts here can be enhanced for the future projects. Finally, so if the normal test report or periodic test report tells us summarizes all the metrics and all the ideas of what works and what doesn't, then what goes into this test completion report? Well, first of all, the coverage, what was tested and what defects we still left to the project or product at this point. What was not tested, what are the open risks, what incidents were not fixed, for example, because we ran out of money or they weren't critical enough, and what requirements for the product could not be tested to satisfactory degree. If the project test plan existed, this being the master plan or the phase plan or the method plan on which this completion report talks about, what deviations had to be taken, for example in time, effort, resources or environments, and what updates were made during the project to the project test plan or at least to the test plan on which this completion report is talking about. Finally, also, it's important to notify that the deviations from the organizational test policy and test strategy. What was done differently, why, and how these risks or problems or deviations could be avoided in the future. It also gives us an idea to trace what sort of compliance we had and tells some ideas on how the testing could be improved in the entire organization, or at least how usable the current test strategy still is.